From Ferrum College, after averaging NCAA records of almost 2 strikeouts per inning and allowing just 2 hits per game in 3 seasons, he became one of the best closers in big league history. In 16 seasons, a lightning bolt throwing lefty, Billy the Kid Wagner. Let's give these 2019 College Baseball Hall of Famers one more round of applause on their walk of legends. Unlike me, Billy Wagner probably got called a little lefty a lot in his younger days, but he threw so hard he got promoted out of junior high and into high school. He just kept climbing the ladder all the way from Ferrum College in his home state of Virginia to the big league greatness.
The 16-year big league baseball career of Billy Wagner has him on a lot of ballots for Cooperstown. It certainly ranks him as one of the best closers in the game's history. Billy the Kid is one of only 6 pitchers to accumulate at least 400 career saves. His 422 save total for 5 teams is remarkable, even more so considering he was born a right-hander and taught himself to throw left-handed after breaking his arm twice as a boy growing up in Marion, Virginia. His big league career overshadows a fact we celebrate tonight. Billy Wagner is unquestionably one of the greatest pitchers ever at any level in the college game, putting together a fabulous career at Ferrum College in his home state. He holds the Division III career record with a remarkable 327 strikeouts in 182 1/3 innings. Overwhelming? Yes. Here's another Division III career record. He only allowed 2.2 hits per 9 innings. Check out these mind-blowing NCAA single-season records he set in 1992. And this is not a misprint. 19.1 strikeouts per 9 innings, sitting down 109 batters in 51 1/3 innings of work. The other NCAA single-season mark, fewest hits allowed per game, just 1.88. In 3 seasons for the Panthers, Wagner won 17 games and was beaten only 3 times. He finished with a career 1.63 ERA. It's no wonder he was a 1993 first-team All-America at Ferrum. A little-known trivia fact. In 1990, he also was a starter at defensive back on the football team and was a stopper even there. He made an interception. But his destiny was clearly on the diamond. Billy was the 12th selection in the 1993 Major League Draft, selected as the Astros' first pick. Wagner was a starter through his minor league career, but finally broke through in the bullpen for Houston in June of 1996. In his first full season with the Astros, he set a major league record with 14.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. That was the beginning of a long resume of remarkable accomplishments, highlighted by 7 All-Star Game appearances, the 1999 National League Roll Age Relief Man Award, and finishing in the top 10 in the National League in saves over 10 seasons. His 1,196 career strikeouts are the most ever by a left-handed reliever in the major leagues. His career ERA was 2.31. One of the games he finished was a combined no-hitter on June 11th, 2003.
Please welcome 2019 College Baseball Hall of Fame inductee from Ferrum College, Billy Wagner.
Billy Wagner, all right, we're gonna have some fun with this guy. We go way back, 1992 in the Cape Cod. See, I'm convinced that, can I just tell stories on this guy for a minute? I'm convinced that that's where the open stance got started, because Billy was one of the greatest closers of all time, but back then, still trying to find his way. So these hitters would get up here like this, 1 foot out the door, in case he threw it at him. Of course, put a couple guys in the hospital back then. Another story we had, Hughes. Hughes was our coach?
Yes.
At Cape Cod, Hughes.
Right. Yeah, cheese.
And so he got the pitchers together. I happened to be standing there, and he gave them 6 baseballs. And he would ask these pitchers, he'd say, okay, you got a 3-2 count plus the out pitch. He goes, how would you pitch a certain hitter, And these pitchers would grab the balls, and they'd say, all right, I'd throw the first one 3 inches on the outside corner. I'd throw this curveball a little high, throw one in the dirt. By the time it came to Billy, he got all 6 balls, and he just lined them right down the middle. He said, let's go. 100 miles an hour. Billy, you got to Ferrum College, and not many people knew about you. 3 years later, you were a first-round pick. How did you get to Ferrum, and how did you develop that quickly?
I was blessed to get to Ferrum. I followed my cousin to Ferrum to play football. That was my first love until I started getting hit, and then that ended. That was I did get an interception, but on that way I was celebrating down the sidelines, and this big lineman kind of got me and cracked a couple ribs, and I didn't do that very much more. So I understood that baseball was going to be my gift and my role. But honestly, I was very blessed to get to Ferrum. It gave me a chance to mature. And I don't think many coaches would have had the patience with me to sit out there. And I wasn't this 0-2, put it on the corner. It was 3-2 quite often. And that was my gift. 3-2, it was my advantage because you had to protect. And I wasn't savvy enough to have a curveball, and I didn't develop a curveball until my junior year after the Cape Cod League. So, it's like being chased by a lion. When you're faced to, and you got to be better, you throw harder. And that's my gift. And so when it was 3-2 count, it was, this is my best, and hey, see who the lucky guy is today.
So you're inducted into the Hall of Fame. You're only the 3rd Division III college baseball player inducted into the Hall of Fame. What does that mean to you?
After seeing how difficult Division III baseball was, I'm very honored. It's just, it's incredible to know that standing up here with guys that, who drew up the lineup where I have to come behind Mark Kotze? Honestly, that was amazing. But, it's such an honor just to be on a stage with these individuals and all the tremendous accomplishments. But, I was very blessed because I had great teammates. I don't think many people would realize how good Ferrum was, except the Pittsburgh team out of the D1 Pittsburgh team. So they understand that Ferrum was a little different. We had like 15 drafted guys off of my freshman team. So we weren't a secret to many, just, we didn't have internet and media.
Well, I know your coach is here tonight. Your wife is here. I know she was an athlete. You're an athlete. You're coaching now. What's that been like for you?
Probably the greatest part of my life so far. I get emotional because I was inspired by 2 people. I lost one this past week. He died of an illness, and he was a great man who inspired me to be a coach. And then the other one I was blessed to bring tonight, Abraham Naff. But, excuse me. But they motivated me to be a motivator. My career was just a stepping stone, but they really showed me the way to be a better person. And what better way to give back is to go to the high school level and try to give back the way they gave me the opportunity. And so, I try to do that, and I try to leave examples by the way they taught me.
Well, and I think that's the greatest thing about coaching is the emotion, and what it brings, and you're impacting kids' lives like you have. I think that's great. Of course, one of the greatest closers of all time. If you can think back, like you were a first-round pick, where did you go right out of college, and where were you pitching, and what was kind of the mentality when you first got into pro ball? I
had absolutely no idea. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea about the draft. I had no idea what an advisor was. I had no idea except, I wanted to play baseball. Going to Cape Cod was a big highlight. So once they started talking about draft and all these things, I had no idea what that really meant for myself. But, it was life-changing for me to go into that draft. I went to Auburn, New York, and I was pretty sure I was ready to quit baseball. I was 1-4. A 4 ERA, had a single light bulb in our locker room. It was different. The bus rides were incredibly long, and I'm playing with guys. I had, it was a different type of baseball, and so you come from that college rah-rah, everybody, and all of a sudden it's, hey, it's about you, buddy. You better be able to produce, and you better be good, and so the first guy, the general manager or the scouting director told me, he goes, you got to get 1,000 innings in before we'll even consider you for the big leagues. And I was pretty sure that was never going to happen. But it was just an amazing experience, and the grit that I learned through Ferrum of overcoming and taking bus rides and having teammates, that showed me what I was going to have to take to get to the big leagues. But there was never one day that I stood in a minor league field saying, I'm going to get to the big leagues today. Every day I pitched was the greatest day because I didn't worry about tomorrow. Today was the most important.
Well, one of the greatest closers of all time, great friend of mine, and just a good person, Billy Wagner.
Thank you.
Well, Andre Dawson's college days at Florida A&M.